Build Show's on the road today. Check out these gorgeous mountains. I'm in Bozeman, Montana. I'm here for my Builder 20 group meeting. And I reached out through my Instagram contacts and said, hey, does anybody have any cool projects happening in Bozeman? And Aaron and Justin told me about this really cool project. We're in Bridgerview Estates. This is Langless and Associates General Contractors. But check out these beautiful houses. They've got these rather modest looking bungalow and kind of farmhouse style homes. I don't quite know the square footage yet. These look like they're maybe 1,500 to 2,000 square feet. They're, from what I understand, very high performance, very well built, but they're also very modest on price. In fact, I think this is some type of community trust where this is meant to be kind of working class income affordable. But man, these are gorgeous little houses. I bet there's something we can learn today. Today's Build Show from Bozeman, Montana. Let's get going. Okay guys, I love this architecture. This style really appeals to me. We've got a bungalow here that Justin and Aaron told me to meet at, and they said I couldn't miss it because it was Montana State Bobcat colors. It certainly is. With the yellow front door. I see some shoes off. This must be a finished house. Let's see if these guys are inside. Hey, there they are. Justin, Aaron.
Hey, how you doing?
Gentlemen, thank you.
Yeah.
What a cool house. So we're heating and cooling the entire house with just a little Daikin mini split?
There's backup electric cove heaters throughout here, but the primary is the mini split.
So that's an electric cove heater. I've never seen that before. Just like a little resistance heater in case it gets crazy cold and the heat pump can't work?
Yep, those heat pumps will function down to, I think it's like -4, but obviously most of them will get below that from time to time, so the electric cove heater is the backup.
So it's like a little radiant strip, basically, that radiates and would warm this little space. What a cool house, man. I love the modest kitchen, but beautifully done. Little Doug fir. That looks like an LVL beam that's turned into a countertop there.
Butcher block top, these came from Germany, I believe.
Cool. Nice and modest, good size. What's the basement going on in these houses?
So unfinished, but there is an egress window in all of them right now, so you get a legal bedroom.
It wouldn't be the Build Show if we didn't see the unfinished basement and the mechanical spaces. You know I love seeing my mechanicals in my basements. So we're full in-ground here, and this looks like it's maybe an 8 or 9 foot ceiling down here.
Yep, 8 foot.
And we've got an egress window, so there's some type of bulkhead down there.
Water heaters, a heat pump water heater as well, so super
Interesting.
efficient.
By Lochinvar. I didn't know those guys made, I always think of them as gas boiler people, but they make heat pump water heaters too, apparently.
Yep.
And is this getting any radiant heat in the house too, or is that all just domestic hot?
All just domestic.
Okay, got it. Look at that beautiful commercial pipe insulation these guys were using. That's really nice. I like seeing that. Microlock HP insulation that we saw earlier. It's got a release on there. Fiberglass. Probably some amount of fire resistance there. That's a neat little product. And then interesting, this is kind of, is this pretty typical for Bozeman, seeing just 2x10 floor joists?
It's not actually, but it's a lead credit actually for not using engineered.
Oh, interesting.
Using dimensional.
Okay.
So.
And then because it's not an I-joist, we're not worried about fire too, because we've got a full solid joist in there, so you don't probably have to do anything for fire purposes down here.
There is no required separation.
Yeah, makes sense. Beautiful little basement space. Awesome. Let's get back upstairs, shall we? Oh, hold on. We've got an Aldi's ERV down here, it looks like. Or probably not an ERV, it's probably an HRV.
It is an ERV.
It is an ERV?
Mm-hmm. Yep, so it's heating and cooling.
Interesting.
There's some inline duct heaters.
Okay, so this is probably the input air from the outside, and if it's too cold outside, it'll add a little bit of heat into the incoming airstream, right?
Yep.
Because if it's -20 out, you still want fresh air, but you don't want that -20 air coming into your house. So this is basically probably just a little hairdryer style heater, nothing special. And then there's a second one over here. What's that all about?
I think that is another one on the supply, actually.
Okay.
So I think your treating the air, the incoming air, the intake, as well as the supply to the house.
Got it. That makes sense. Cool. Let's go see the rest of the house. Oh man, check out the cool marmoleum floor. I had a house with that. I love it. It's a linoleum-based product, not vinyl, but real all-natural type product. I like this bathroom.
Resilient flooring.
Sweet. This is great. Nothing super fancy, but well built. What's this access to here?
Just a little storage.
Okay, storage space. And there's no mechanicals above us in the attic, so how are you insulating on these?
So these actually have a SIP roof. This home style, it's a 2-bedroom bungalow. Has
Really?
a SIP roof on this section.
Wow, very cool.
Yep.
Can you show us some under construction?
Sure.
All right, let's do it, guys. Let's go see some under construction. Okay, so we just toured in phase 1, but Justin is now taking us through the fence for phase 2. So Justin, as I'm driving in here and walking in, I'm trying to figure out, why do some houses have zip system sheathing that looks like you guys did a perfect job of install, including liquid flash in the nails, but some houses have Tyvek. What's happening back here?
Yep, so we get that a lot for people driving by. We got our zip system as our primary air and water sealing, moisture sealing. Basically, we have the zip system first, then we have an exterior insulation. It's a 3-inch EPS. It's actually called a nail-based system. So it has a 1/2-inch OSB glued to the 3-inch EPS insulation. The OSB is the siding backing, basically. That our Tyvek is providing a rain screen for the nail base product for that OSB. Yep.
So I'm guessing, like where I'm seeing some Tyvek here, you must be preparing for something on the outside of the house.
So these are our electrical services. Obviously, we have to put those on during rough-in stage before all the building envelope is complete. So if you look back here, we got our exterior insulation, our nail-based system.
So you got 3 inches of EPS foam. This is the nail-based, some 1/2-inch, 7/16 OSB.
Yep, you got it.
Then the Tyvek there, and then this is probably just some standard 1/4-inch Hardy that then the electrician can mount the exterior box on.
Yep, you got it.
And now you're all set for the rest of the crew coming in, lacing everything in next to that, around it, taping it, which also means your windows are pre-bucked out.
Yep, exactly.
By the way, these are your windows, I'm assuming, Aaron, from Alpine. We'll talk about those when we go inside, but what a beautiful outside. I mean, you've got everything perfectly taped. You even went to the extra measure of liquid flashing nail holes. I'm guessing you guys have an air tightness goal here, don't you?
Yep, we do. So under 1 ACH is target. We've been averaging about 0.8. I think our best one is 0.6.
Dang, that's
ACH.
awesome.
And that's at rough-in stage too, so they only get better at completion.
That's incredible. And then what am I seeing here? Is this sheet metal?
This is, yep, so this is base wall flashing that's capping. We have a 4-inch EPS on top of the foundation wall.
Okay.
So this through wall flashing is capping that foundation insulation.
And we can see a little bit right there that will be below grade in the future. So you got a couple inches of EPS foam on top of the concrete foundation, and then some real nice sheet metal. What's this bend right here doing for you?
So that's a striation to help prevent oil canning in that flashing. Some of these profiles are pretty tall, so
that makes sense. And I like how you've got your trades poking out your penetrations ahead of time. So your sheet metal guy has an exhaust or an intake. Your plumber's got these frost-free. These look like maybe Sioux Chief. Oh no, sorry, Woodford. Pardon me. So this is shutting off inside the house several inches, and this will drain out with this right here, which is your, what's the word for that? I can't think of it. It's your...
frost-free.
Yeah, frost-free. This is a vacuum breaker. I couldn't think of the word.
Very good.
And all the windows are bucked out, so then the foam will go on there. This looks really nice, man. So could we see a house that has nail base going on so we can kind of take a look at that?
Absolutely. Let's take a walk.
Okay, cool. Let's go. Okay, hold on. Let's hold up here one quick second, because this now shows that detail that we saw a minute ago. So where we saw that panel box that was being prepped, here's what it looks like now. So they've taped the Tyvek on there. Behind that, the zip is all fully waterproofed. And now this Tyvek is just acting, I think you called it a rain screen. In other words, it's just a watershed area. So we're not worried about taping the Tyvek for air tightness. All we're doing is making this the water shedding to keep the OSB dry.
That's correct.
And now we can see some nail base on here too. Check it out at this window, pardon me, at this door. You can see the edge of the foam, and there's probably still some hardy trim or something that's going on there. I like this. This is cool.
Trim all these corners with G90 flashing, which will be the backing for the siding.
Gotcha. And then we can see over here some nail base, it looks like. Let's go check that out. And where you've got uninsulated, unheated garages, we're just doing kind of standard 2x4 construction with some OSB. But check out these fat panels. Holy cow. That is some thick foam. Look at that. Oh, I see. These are two. This is 2 panels. So this is basically your 3-inch right here.
Yep.
3-inch, 3-inch.
3-inch EPS, 1/2-inch OSB for the siding backing.
Very cool. And you can see it on this under construction here because they've started it on this part of the house. And these are these getting screwed into studs, or how much structure do they need to have?
They are into studs, yep. So it's, I think we're 612 screw pattern for the nail base.
And they're using something like a Timberlock type screw, maybe a Simpson structural screw. What happens where you've got some panels that don't quite touch? Are you trying to do anything in those locations?
Yep, so we just fill those with spray foam.
Okay, just a little can foam right there, just to eliminate that. And now the whole outside of the building's got a continuous insulation, with the only place that's not is maybe at these window bucks. But don't forget, solid wood has an R value. So at every window buck that's 3 inches, you've got an R3, let's say, at R1 per inch. But this nail base is probably what,
about 15.
R15.
About
okay.
an R5 per inch of this EPS.
Got it. That's awesome. How cool. And Aaron, tell me about your Alpine windows that are going on here. Are these triple glaze windows, Aaron?
They are, and they are the ZR7 series, which is the Zenith 7 series glass.
Okay.
And they are using Krypton for the inner gas.
Krypton?
Yep.
So Superman is definitely not getting through those panes of glass if they're Krypton filled.
Yep.
I've never even heard of Krypton filled glass.
Really?
No, is that a thing?
Yeah, so Krypton is just like argon, except argon works good in large spaces and Krypton is in small spaces. And if you were to look at the thickness of these insulated units, they're very thin, and so the cavity in these units is very thin, so Krypton is the best gas to use in there.
Wow, that's wild. Yep. Very cool. Can we see anything, Justin, that's maybe got some mechanical started inside? Does this building have mechanical started, or the one we just came from, maybe?
Let's head back over here.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, let's check out the inside of one of these units. Ah, yeah. Now we're at home. Check this out. Look at that. There's even foam right here on this. Is that a party wall?
Yep, so you got conditioned second floor space over here, unconditioned attic space here, so we have to continue that exterior insulation through this truss.
Oh, wow. That's wild. So this will have traditional blown in. That's outside of the envelope, so that's why we're doing that.
So we have an ignition barrier, which is the dense glass, and then our 3-inch EPS going on for the continuous filling envelope.
And your plumber started. Looks like you got some Uponor PEX here happening. One of my favorites. I like the Uponors. And then also traditional 2x floor joists again. That's so interesting. I hadn't heard about the kind of lead points. Are you guys going for some kind of lead certification on this project?
So shooting for LEED Platinum and then LEED ND, which is neighborhood design, and that's already been certified. I think we are the 7th project in the United States or possibly in North America to get that LEED ND certification.
Wow, that's wild. Very cool. I like it. Let's go back and, or actually, Aaron, do you have any stats in these windows you can tell us about? I see a window sticker right here.
So we have a mixture of mixed and operables. The U factor on these units is 0.19 on the operables.
That's good.
And then 0.16 on the
fixed. So R5 glass and maybe R5.5, R6.
Yeah. So that's what
on those guys.
Is the glass is a R7. Just the glass is R7.
That's neat. I've not seen these before. What's the frame material on these Alpines, Aaron?
So this is a pultruded fiberglass. It's a commercial grade. And also the ZR7 product is all fiberglass. So they're not using a plastic glazing stop. So for, I think it's Living Building Challenge. These meet that Living Building Challenge certification. I don't know if you've ever heard of that. Yeah,
I've heard of that for sure. There's a bunch of chemicals that are not allowed on that list, and so it's a way to build healthier with an eye towards indoor air quality and just making sure that none of the red list chemicals are there.
Yeah, exactly, red list.
That's wild. Let's go check out. I'd love to see one where we're making window bucks for these, and we could talk through those details. How about we pop over to the other side of the site and see that? Here's a house that's got the zip on. It hasn't fully been skinned yet, which is cool because we can see the foundation insulation here as well. And there's waterproofing applied to the foundation ahead of time. They're taping with zip tape for some airtightness between the zip and the foundation. We don't have window bucks here, but we do have one up here. Aaron, what are we seeing here on these windows?
So what we're seeing is we're seeing a 2x4 with 1/2 inch OSB and then another 2x4 so that we can equal the 3.5 inches of the foam that we're putting on the outside of the shell.
Gotcha. So those are just regular 2x that they pulled from the stack and put up there then.
Yeah. So the 2x4s they're using is actually the packaging that came off the windows.
How about that? Is that what those numbers are that I'm seeing up there?
Yeah, so that'd be order 946, line 9.
That's awesome. Way to go. That's being resourceful as a builder.
Yeah, very resourceful.
And notice this too. They're starting with the zip tape from the bottom up as a good, smart flashing detail. And I'm assuming there's probably some stretch tape going on the sill there. But this tape here is simply making sure that when the nail base, that foam goes on, that no water can get in and attack any of that wood framing there. There's some nice details here, guys. I really like it.
These ones in particular, we gotta basically do this built-up window buck in order to tie this eave roof framing through that window. So that's why this particular window has to be done so far ahead of sequence.
So your foam's even going behind this overhang that's happening here.
Yep. So this framing will be right below that window buck, hence the window buck needs to be flashed in, all the zip flashing details done before that framing ties through.
And now that I think about it, I'm seeing that right across the street here too, right? Because we've got a porch roof. Let's go over and look at that real quick. I'm blown out on my... So the porch roof is, you see the nail base behind the porch roof, and then the flashing goes on so that where that porch roof comes in, we didn't have a break in the continuous insulation. If we go back here and look up, I suspect you're gonna be able to see that. Yes, you can. Look at that, you can see the bottom of the foam. Nicely done. Nice detail by these guys. And all this foam is a nice big thermal break on the whole outside of the building. Because we're waterproof and airtight now, which means that they can sheetrock on the inside of this house and they're not worried about it, and they can finish off the exteriors. What a cool project. Very, very impressive. All right, let's close it out. Justin, thank you for the tour.
Absolutely, anytime.
Aaron, appreciate the
Thank
tour.
you, man.
Yep.
Justin, you said something right off camera that I want to repeat real fast.
Sure.
Tell me about sequencing on this job.
Yeah, so especially in the envelope system, having this continuous insulation as well as the continuous air barrier, there's a lot of things that, you know, a lot of trades have to relearn the process and understand that some things will be out of sequence.
Yep.
Prime example, you know, we just looked at a window buck framing and sealing over on this unit here. That's done while the framers are actually building that unit, so where that roof ties together, we have a continuous envelope, that zip envelope going behind the roof framing. So a lot of detailing and out of sequence parts of these envelope systems, but it's coming together good.
Langless General Contractors, they work all over Montana. I'll put a link to these guys below. And Aaron, you guys are 406 Glass, based kind of here and east of Bozeman?
Yep. So eastern Montana, which is very rural, we spread out and mostly in Billings.
Okay,
Yeah.
awesome. Very cool tour, guys. Impressive little community. I'll put a link to this community too. Some neat partnerships happening here between public and private, and some really high performance houses. To see these details on, you know, instead of multi-million-dollar houses, really pretty affordable houses, that's pretty cool stuff. So big thanks to these guys for giving me a quick tour today. Guys, if you're not currently a subscriber, hit that subscribe button below. We've got new content every Tuesday and every Friday. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram. Otherwise, we'll see you next time on The Build Show.